Welcome, everybody, to a very new concept we got here on the CTS-Sports room. Now, I've been a big-time wrestling fan for a very long time. Something a lot of people don't know this. I've been a very, very big boxing fan. Very big basketball fan. Very big NFL fan. And the one thing I love to do is go back in time and watch some great games. But one thing I always like to do is listen to stories of what happened during that game, or stories of what happened during that season. So today's episode, or not really an episode, a new concept we got in mind. We're going to start watching old games and have a surprise guest come on and tell us who was involved in that game and involved in that season. So with that said, we're going to go down memory lane. We're going to go back to the 2003 season. Now, you may remember the 2003 season. We had two national championship teams. We had USC and some guy named Nick Saban, who won the national championship with LSU. We didn't see much of Nick Saban after he left LSU. I think he went to the Dolphins, and then we don't know what he did. But this one game that we're going to show you today, it was basically David versus Goliath. And it was the 2004 Peach Bowl. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2004 Peach Bowl against number 7 Tennessee and unranked Clemson. Here we go. Here we go. Now some guys. Basically, he's asking about James Banks, who got suspended for the first half. He basically got hit with team rules. There's James Banks right there.
Which is sad because he led the team in receptions and touchdowns to be suspended for the first half.
Yes, he did. You know, Spencer, I'm going to try to remain biased during this game, but I really hate the orange and white.
I can't say that. I have respect for all SEC teams.
Shut up. Stop being a suck up.
And I definitely don't want SEC to Clemson to win this game for sure.
Well, if you got some money, I'll take Clemson.
I bet you would. Give me 14 points, I'll take
Georgia,
that.
We got Charlie Whitehurst from Duluth, Georgia. Now, my wife's from Snellville, so basically down the street from my wife. He probably went to school with my wife.
Yep.
Go for a pass.
Great short throw. Great crossing pattern. Up and out. Right off the get-go, you can see that Clemson's trying to slow down that Tennessee pass rush because they were good this year.
Yeah.
Hard running up the middle. Good defensive line. Good blocking. That's just a good play all the way around.
Sorry for the dead air, y'all.
John Chavis.
Chavis. Look at him. What was the flag on?
I missed it, but it was on Clemson. They backed them up. I think it was holding, if I ain't mistaken.
Look at young Tommy Bowden. Going for a
Tennessee coming
pass.
with a blitz. He loads up. Oh my God, what a catch!
Oh,
That was a great throw, man. That was a dime.
yes. Yes, it was. Look at the
That was a
Clemson
dime.
fans. You know,
Oh, missed his check. He missed his check. He didn't check him. He
nope.
cut him loose. He missed his check.
I saw that. Derrick Hamilton. Now that became a Clemson legend right there.
Good defense. Good defense. That's what I'm talking about. Come across, shut that edge off.
You know, people don't remember this Tennessee team. You know, Tennessee. You know, football fans today don't remember Tennessee being so dominant. We know Tennessee for what they are today.
Right, which is sad. Ooh, that defender thought he was thrown out of bounds. He let up.
That went to Youngblood, didn't it? That's Youngblood, ain't it?
Yep, he laid up.
Look at the Youngblood.
Look at him. That defender thought he was throwing that ball away. He just let up. That's a mental error. Little cheap shot with a knee there to the head.
It's okay. It's SEC. You're going for the shotgun. Oh, option.
Oh no. Yeah, he's in.
That's a touchdown.
That was a play. That was a good play there, man.
I thought it was going. They turned that shit to an option.
That's a touchdown right there. Coming in. They think he's going to jump out of bounds, but he don't. Well, also on that first series for Tennessee is some mental errors and a great offensive scheme for Clemson on that one. They took advantage of the early game jitters. Clemson goes up 7-0. Scores on their first drive.
Oh,
little cheap shot there.
That was Baker and who else?
Coleman for Clemson. See, they think he's jumping out, and number 15 don't even make a hit, or 16 don't even make a hit on him because they think he's going out of bounds. Six plays, 80 yards. At this point, we knew this was going to be a game.
I didn't. I thought Tennessee was going to blow Clemson out. I think everybody did. I even think Clemson fans did. The only people that are at the stadium right now are the loyal Clemson fans. Just like I was when Alabama was playing Minnesota in Nashville. Like, we knew Alabama was probably going to – well, I thought Alabama had a chance. It was Minnesota. There's Casey Clausen.
Coming on. Senior, Casey Clausen.
California. That was Spencer's favorite quarterback growing up.
I forgot he was 6'4".
I forgot he even played. Look at those stats, though. That's not bad.
He'd been kicking.
What did he do after Tennessee? Here's a question. What did he do after Tennessee? Because I don't remember.
I forget who he got drafted by, but he got drafted and didn't play very much.
Oh,
I have to give it up to Clemson. They're coming in and getting all feisty. I mean, they're doing hits after the play. And
Cedric Houston. I remember him. I remember Tony Brown.
it was Muzo.
I remember some of these guys.
Standard 4-3 defense.
Audible. He's calling audible. He sees the defense.
Yeah.
He sees blitz. No, overthrew it.
Just by a little. But at least the receiver laid out for it, tried to. You don't see that much anymore.
Now
they're trying to get hurt.
I have to tell everybody we do have a guest coming on who was at the game. We don't want to tell you now. If you're watching this, you're probably going to see it on the thumbnail.
Oh, it's in his hands.
You're probably going to see it on the thumbnail who it is. But, however, we're not going to tell you right now as we're recording. Let's put it this way. He was a head coach.
Got the blitz coming. Clausen comes up. He delivers. Strike. Good crossing pattern. Good moves. Yes. Take your bow, son. Take your bow. That was great. Take your bow. Offensive line gave him plenty of time. Look at that. Oh, he can see all the way down. I miss great offensive line play.
You don't have that too many no more. They're in Tiger territory.
Dump off. Ain't going nowhere. Nope, ain't going nowhere. He got a little bit out of it. Surprised he got that much. Good thing he's 7 foot tall. Yes, sir. I ain't the game, but that's okay. I'll get my football out here in a minute, start running around. Line up in their 4-3 defense. I hadn't seen an eye backfield in a long time. Lord, that brings back memories.
Yeah.
Looky here, line up in the eye.
We're supposed to be talking, but we're too busy watching the game.
I'm sorry, I am watching the game. I'm having flashback on all this. That eye backfield,
loses the ball. He loses the ball. Oh,
that hurt. Oh, that one hurt. I forgot about that.
I think Tennessee's going to keep it. Was the ball down? No, I keep thinking like this is today's football. Like they're going to play an instant replay. Like they're going to call a replay. Good
handoff, great handoff, and he just ripped the ball out. It's a great defensive play. He just ripped the ball out. So he hold it up high and tight. Oh, that hurt. That hurt.
That tells me Casey Clausen is not going to lead the band.
It's still early. It's
still early, yeah.
This defense stepping up here in a minute because that Tennessee defense then was nasty.
This is
bam.
This is the number 7 team in the country. I think this season, 2003 really marks is the end of the BCS.
Pretty much.
We saw the shutdown between, 3 teams, USC, Oklahoma, and USC. And LSU was the national champions.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Got him. Boom. Yes.
And then the following season,
There you go.
what happened with USC?
Can't do that no more, but that was sweet.
What you see next year with Auburn, USC, I think that really shut the BCS down. We had to get rid of the BCS. It was only a matter of time.
Well, wasn't the final straw when Alabama and LSU faced each other in the championship? Had two SEC teams in there.
But they
said that's it. No more.
These two seasons right here was like the top.
It was the lead up. The lead up.
3rd and 12. Right here is throwing.
Oh, wide open and over.
That's why they were unranked.
Wide open.
Now, remember what we discussed earlier. Clemson beat a very high-ranked Florida State. Tommy Bowden faced his father in this game, in this season. He faced his father and beat Florida State. And, of course, Tennessee beat a highly ranked Miami team. So these two teams were very, Tennessee they were in hopes for a national championship this season. Unfortunately, unranked Auburn and a very high-ranked number 8 in the season, Georgia, said no. It was like no, especially after you beat unranked Auburn. Auburn sucked in 2003, and then Tennessee had to go beat Alabama, which it hurts me to say this. They weren't very good. It took 5 overtimes to beat Alabama.
They still did it, though.
And
it was a Georgia loss.
They beat Alabama, yes, but it took 5 overtimes to play. And Alabama was not the Alabama you know today, kids.
That's a typical Phil Farmer play right there.
All right, they talk about the Cotton Bowl, Oklahoma State and Ole Miss. Rashad Pearson. Eli going for a quarterback sneak. The only thing Eli Manning did in Ole Miss was sneak, pretend to be a quarterback. I don't know what people saw in Eli Manning. Maybe I missed it. I was watching Alabama.
He did decent in the NFL.
Yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls.
Good play, good throw. Good throw.
What do I know?
Man, it's a good move here because then timing pattern, bam, right there on the numbers. Sweet. I was not a Clausen fan at all and still not, but I got to admit, he had an arm.
John Lovett. We need to ask our special guest later on today about John Lovett. Why you sending this stuff down since you got a pencil? All these questions we need to ask our guests.
I'm enjoying the game. You told me this was a watch along, not a ride along.
Oh, that hurt my throat.
I asked about John Lovett.
Yeah, I mean, just if you come up with some questions, ask them. I got to call the game, so you got to be the question guy.
You ain't doing a good job calling the game.
I'm trying my best. I'm not a color commentary.
Back in the big eye. That offensive line is blocking. I mean, I got to get up to Clemson. Their defensive line is fighting too, but that Tennessee offensive line, 2003, 2004 right there, nasty.
Yeah, they have Tennessee hasn't had a chance to dent this defense. They can't. It's like a barrel. They can't break a dent. They haven't found a way.
Boom. Damn. That was a good blitz. That was a delayed blitz right there.
Little note. In the beginning of the game, one of the commentaries said the only way Tennessee was going to win this game if they were going to have to run the ball. As you see in this first quarter, there's no way they can run the ball against this defense. Clemson is saying, hell no, we ain't going.
Well, what they did, it was calling plays that were taking too long to develop. If they started dropping it back down short, they'd have done better. And there's their number one receiver setting out the first half, Mr. Bank. Set up. Good blocking, plenty of time, and missed the target. Plenty of time. Didn't ask for more time than that. 1, 2.
Got a fake in the draw.
4 seconds.
Bowden blocked it.
Yep, knocked it down.
There's Dustin something.
Quit. Quit. Great punter.
He should have quit when he signed for Tennessee. Well, a kick like that, I can see why he signed for Tennessee. Uh-oh.
It's okay.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
That's Hamilton.
Come on, knock him down now. Knock him down.
Go, Hamilton.
Push him out. There you go.
Oh.
Flag.
Flag.
See the flag up there.
Flag. That's Hamilton. Is that 21? That's Hamilton. That's somebody. That was a bad boy for Clemson.
Oh, I remember that umpire. Boy, I don't know if he had little man syndrome or what, but he always walked around with chest bowed out, always.
Yeah, especially 58-year-old man who smokes cigarettes, and they do that a lot too.
60-year-old, thank you very much. I can't help it. I got man boobs.
He just run back. He should have been tackled.
Good move.
Look at that blocking. Look at the blocking that Clemson's doing.
They wanted it. I mean, you can tell they're wanting it too.
Yeah, Clemson said.
Both teams are.
My coach is going to keep his job.
They just going at it. I mean, both teams want it. It's a good game so far.
Okay, Wrighthurst is checking out the defense. See what he's going to do.
Hands off. Good 5-yard pickup.
Basically, what you're seeing right off the bat in the first quarter, you're seeing a team's defense come to play, and the other team's defense didn't show up. That's what I'm seeing so far. It's not that Clemson's offense is better. It's just that Tennessee's defense is not so good right now.
I kind of got to disagree with that one.
Well, most people watching this is going to disagree with me.
Get out. Good route run. That's good route running there. Hard to defend, good route running.
You know, the thing about this kid, number one, they didn't think he was going to play because of the injury. Yes, I took notes on this game.
Ball was thrown on a dime. Great route. Hard to defend them. Here we go. First and goal from the 2. Now, this day and time, they'd call that a late hit. But
yeah. You know what, Spencer, you got to be impressed. This is a sophomore Charlie Wrighthurst right here. And he's putting that ball everywhere it needs to be.
Yep. You. Second go.
Stop arguing. Bitch.
Second go.
I shouldn't say that. He's probably watching.
Here we go.
Kick my ass.
Back to 7. And he's in.
No. And no, ladies and gentlemen, to the kids watching at home, this is not 2022. Referees say it's final.
Was out. Yeah, that front foot was in the white before he caught the ball. Ball's coming in. He's got it. Bam.
No, that was out.
Yep, that was out. That was a good call.
Those Big 12 or Big 10 referees were good back then in the day. Tommy.
There you go, Bobby. There you go,
Coach
Bobby. Work them refs. You're good at that, man. You did great. Way to work them. Here we go. Slow mo. That back toe hit first. The slow mo. Third down. Here we go, D.
They say it should be a touchdown.
Well, in slow mo, it was. Fourth and 1. Come on, right, Bobby. I know you like
going out of bounds at the 1 yard line. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go for it?
Well, Bobby likes going for it. Bobby always liked going for it.
That's not Bobby. That's Tommy.
Oh, Tommy, excuse me.
Go for it.
The Bowden family has always liked going for it. Let me put it that way.
We love the Bowden family on the CTS.
I do too. I love them to death. Got utmost respect for them.
We have respect for Bobby and Tommy.
He's going to hide.
I'm not saying anything about Terry.
Me personally, right here, I'd go for the field goal, go up by 10-0.
Tommy's been good to us. I don't want to disrespect his brother.
Ooh. But the ball didn't cross. Your feet was in there, but the ball didn't cross.
Remember, there's no instant. You can't. They don't have instant replays back in the day.
I know.
Well, they have instant replays, but you can't go back and
still the ball has to cross.
Yes,
the line.
The call is permanent.
Yeah,
something that kids today don't understand. They're probably watching this now, like, why don't they just do the instant replay? Throw the red flag. No, we can't do that. No red flag.
It's back when men are men and boys are boys right here. Banks is just chewing at the bit. Says, get me in this game. Get me in this game.
Banks, I don't think you're going to make much of a difference in this game. I'm just saying, I don't know who's going to win. I'm back in 2003. Probably not watching this game. I'm watching this game, but I'm probably not watching this game. Probably watching MASH. I don't know. I sure wasn't watching Tennessee.
Oh, hit him with a delay of game after all of that. Well, he's happy with that. Give him a better angle.
Yeah.
You should have declined it.
You know, at the one is like a real big acute angle. That's a kid that helped win the game against Florida State.
Him up. They went ahead and backed him up. Give him a better angle.
Almost blocked it. Marks it right down the middle. Right, Hurst. So far, I think he's the MVP of the game.
So far. Yeah. Got ways to go. Uh-oh. Now what are we talking about?
They need a cigarette break.
Need popcorn?
Hey, do they still sell the hot dogs? Yeah. Half price right now for if you wear your ref shirt. Give me 3. Let me go talk to the fans.
Ooh, personal foul on the defense. Offsetting. Klein.
Nothing. That was a waste of time.
Nothing. Yeah, that was nothing. They got together and figured out where they was going after the game. Everything's
Yeah,
good.
it was like, let's make up some shit.
Yeah, we're good. You said no cussing. Don't get it started.
Well, when our special guest comes on.
Don't take this dog leash off this dog.
The guy right there, number 76, I don't know his name. He was pushing players on Tennessee. They're trying to calm him down. People don't understand when you're playing football, it's like no other sport. You go into war.
Yep.
You know, it's like UFC, MMA, boxing. You know, football is the same way. Hockey, you're going for a fight.
Emotions are high.
Yeah. Not everybody can play football. Everybody may want to play football, but you can. It takes somebody with real heart to play football. You got to have heart.
Fact, sir. Very well said. All right, here we go. Oh, the cable cam.
Yes.
Now it's a drone.
Trivia question: what league came up with those types of cams?
USFL, wasn't it?
Nope. Matter of fact, the league that did it, when they started doing it, all the sportscasters and everybody laughed at them and said it was the stupidest idea.
Yeah, because you got a cable in the middle of the field, the ball's going to hit it. You got
now everybody does it. The XFL.
XFL, that was it.
The one season they came up with that camera. And everybody laughed at them. And then the next season, after they went bankrupt, the next season, college football and NFL both were doing it.
Now we got the drone being flown.
Yeah. All right, we got pass situation.
And he's up. And it's good route. Good throw. Good throw.
Chris Hannon.
So I wonder what Tommy's thinking right now.
That probably Chris Hansen's fast.
Going.
I never seen a fast like that. That's probably what Tommy's thinking right now. We should have signed Chris Hansen. We should.
We're
Chris Hansen.
Is
he supposed to be on Dateline?
Do I now?
Chris Hansen.
Not sure. There you go. Swing out.
Let me chase this catch. Clemson's letting them know, like, hey, you're not going to do that here. We're going to win this game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking right now because it looked like he's playing prevent defense.
Right now, it looks like there's a football team that came to play and another team did not come to play. That's what it looks like. And keep in mind, this is more of this may be more of a home field advantage for Clemson than it is for Tennessee. Being that it's Atlanta.
Give you that.
It's about 50, maybe about 45% Tennessee.
There you go. See, look at that. Somebody came to play on that one.
That's not Hansen. That's Hannon. Chris Hannon.
Good route, wide open. That's what I'm saying. They're in a prevent defense, trying to keep everything short.
For Tennessee fans and Clemson fans, please remember Randy Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Keep in mind, this game was, what was it, 18 years ago? Going on 19?
Yep.
We're a little short.
That's all right. Picked up 8.
Who was that? Troy Fleming? All right, Oklahoma and Ole Miss. What's going on? All right. Eli's sitting down somewhere. Rashawn Woods makes the catch.
See if he starts bringing pressure if he stays in the prevent. Because it looks to me like they're up 10 points and they're just going in prevent.
Oh.
Good run, hard running right there.
That's hard.
Good hard running.
Travis Pune. Travis Pune. He made a tackle, didn't he?
Lowers that. Sidestep you, run over you, and nail you too.
Yeah.
Good hard running. Here we go. 1st and 10. Still no pressure. I'm telling you, it looks to me like you're going to prevent, keep everything in front of you. Don't give nothing up deep. When going away from what got them where they're at on defense. Cedric Houston.
It is known that Cedric Houston now is managing at Sam's Club in Tennessee. That's a joke.
Education comes into play.
That's a joke. Sorry. He's doing better than I am in life. That. Dropped it. That's the Tennessee I know. That's the Tennessee the kids today know. Yeah, use both hands when you catch the ball. That's what the coach was trying to tell him. Use both hands.
That's one that got away. Remember that play later on in the game.
What was the wide receiver that was suspended for the first half?
James Bank.
All right. Make sure we ask our special guest why James Bank. You please write that question down since you got a pen and piece of paper.
Wow, what now? Good run.
Fleming.
Good run.
Why James Banks got suspended? They really didn't say during the game.
Why he did get suspended.
This is a good 3rd-and-1 play.
See, they're still playing prevent. They're keeping everything in front of them. They're still not putting pressure. That's I was curious what was going through Tommy's mind on this drive, why he went straight prevent. Should have caught that one. Coming over, right above his head. Should have caught it. Should have caught it.
Somebody's defense showed up to play.
2nd and 10. 12 seconds in the first.
Longest first quarter ever been a part of. That's the thing about college football.
All that blocking out front. That's good blocking. Them linemen did great, man.
Yeah, did they?
Kudos to Tennessee line, man. They got out there, dude.
Tennessee, yeah.
SBC, man, they got out there, brother. They got out there. Rewatch it. Tell me them linemen didn't get out there.
Look at Tennessee.
Whoa. And Clemson's playing prevent. They ain't putting pressure on, so that allowed them time to get around the corner out there. That's sweet. Lining up. What we got all of a sudden? Well, they deserve that one because they should have scored 2 times prior to that, so they actually deserve that touchdown.
Tennessee deserves an ass whooping.
Not
Did I ever
necessarily.
tell you the time I went to Knoxville and went to Walmart and just to be a jackass? I went in there to ask where the Alabama jerseys were and how two workers of Walmart and 3 customers came out
Lyman.
and just wanted to crucify me right there at Walmart. Why
Well,
wear
you
the
asked for
Alabama
it.
jerseys here?
You asked for it.
I just wanted to wear something that had a winning tradition on it.
Man, it's like me going down to Florida or going into Georgia. Where's Alabama jerseys? I'm gonna get the same reaction.
I do it just to be a jackass.
We know.
Derrick Hamilton. You get your coupons right now at the Sam's Club. No, I'm just that man gets more money in his bank than I will have in my entire life.
Touchback. Here we go. Mm-hmm.
He was a great player.
He's got moves. I got to give him that. He's got speed.
Yeah.
Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 20. One slot back. Ooh, overran that play. Oh, that defense overran that big time. That was a good chess match there. Tennessee called all-out blitz for a pass, and it was a quick opening.
End of the That's in the. I was about to say end of the second quarter.
First quarter.
It was the longest first quarter ever. My thing about Derrick Hamilton is these are during this time, this is the people. A lot of people, like for us Alabama fans, we got so many bandwagoners right now. People are not going to remember the greats like Brody Core, Jay Barker. Throw some names out. I can't. I got.
Well, it amazes me the ones that don't even know Derek Thomas.
Yes.
How do you not know
who's
Derek
an NFL
Thomas?
Great? Like,
yeah. How do you not know that name?
Yeah.
Now, I can understand Kenny Stabler. I can understand Joe Namath.
I can't understand that.
Them.
I can't understand that. It's like, but like say somebody like Derrick Hamilton, one of Clemson's all-time greatest players, played for the 49ers. Had a surplus, had a pretty good pro career considering the fact that he traveled a lot and got to play for different leagues, I'm sure. But Derrick Hamilton is one of those players that Clemson fans know, real Clemson fans know. You say Derrick Hamilton to a Clemson fan, they'll know. And this is what this video is for those fans that love football and love your team. We are diehard Alabama fans.
It's a bomb.
We'll forever
be
be
a little pass interference right there.
You obviously didn't watch this game because if you would have known that shit was going to happen. That's the time where we could talk. This game right here is for the diehard Clemson fans. Remember, hey, we were supposed to lose this game, but we had players like Derrick Hamilton come out there and that. But we got evangelists coming on later. We can't cuss. But just like as Alabama fans, we know where we're coming, where you coming from.
I mean, I was having a conversation with a mid-30 Alabama fan here last week down in Birmingham. They didn't have a clue who Cornelius Bennett is.
For the Buffalo Bills?
Seriously, and you're a diehard, and you don't know who Cornelius Bennett is.
For the Buffalo Bills and Atlanta Falcons?
Do what?
For the Buffalo Bills and Atlanta Falcons?
Well, that too. I was just talking about what he did for Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And you're a diehard. Sorry, brother. I just can't.
But then again, I was talking to Marvin Constant, right. And I was back when he was with the CTS. I was like, I want to talk to Tony Nathan. And he was like, who? So we had Martin Houston on just a couple weeks ago. You know, at the time this recording, we had Martin Houston on a couple of weeks. I didn't know who Martin Houston was. Ran 1,000 yards as a fullback his whole season for a career. And everybody was like, oh, you know, Justin was calling me, how do you not know who Martin Houston was? It's so many players that you got to – I understand that. And even I make mistakes. But it's the people, like you just mentioned, don't know who Kenny Stabler, don't know who Joe Namath. Joe Namath played for Alabama? Yes. Yes.
Well, your average person out there does not know that Bear Bryant actually played for Alabama, not just coached, but played for Alabama.
The average Alabama fan now thinks Bear Bryant died in his 90s because every time they see a picture of him, they're like, "Yeah, he retired back when he was 90." They're like, "No, he was 61." No, he wasn't. Yeah, that's what smoking all your life does.
Depends on what they were smoking.
You drank every night and you smoke every day. You smoke and drink your dinner. That's what you're going to look like.
This is what you're going to look like.
They didn't have medications like they did back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, in the 50s. And you got to understand, he also spent most of his life out in the sun, too. So
this second quarter, Tommy's looked like he's playing some old school SEC game here, just trying to shorten the game. Short passes, keep everything inbounds. Let's run the clock. He knows he's in field goal range already.
Yeah.
Smart play, throw it away. You didn't have nothing, throw it away. Smart play. Got to give it up to him. He's got his head on right.
I believe that was Jason Hall, maybe. I don't know. I can't read the back of his jerseys.
All right, boss, I'll be right back.
And what you don't see is while he's going, you don't see I got a list of rosters right here. So every time you see me looking up, I'm looking at rosters. So it's not like, oh, wow, he knows all these football players. No, I got the roster list right here. Looks like they're timeout with Tennessee. Okay. But it's good. I hope not only Clemson fans are watching this game, Tennessee fans are watching this game. Because at CTS, we're basically a college football channel now. Charlie Wrighthurst is backing up. And while he's backing up, trying to see what he's going to do, let's see what the play is, and I'll continue talking. Charlie Wrighthurst is reading the defense, calling a play. Giving to Jasmine. Touchdown. Touchdown, Clemson. Good play. Good play. Well, as I was saying with a kick in the field goal, yes, we got a lot of Alabama fans, but we want to make this more of a college football channel. And this is something I want all Clemson, not just Clemson fans, Tennessee fans, even Auburn fans, come watch us, check us out. What you just missed, Jasmine just hit a 15-yard touchdown.
What I heard, though, you sound like you're kind of more of a Clemson fan. You are an SEC fan. That's kind of got me there.
Look, I will go for the Taliban before I go for Tennessee. And I'll go for ISIS before I go for Auburn. That's me. No, I do not go for you because you play in the SEC. If it's there's certain teams in the SEC that I like. It really depends on how the fans treat me. And it really,
well, that's true. I agree with that.
Clemson fans always had, to me, it's just recently with the championship rivalry. But you got to understand, it's mostly, if you understand where it's coming from, it's in fun. But Auburn fans have always been dicks. They don't know. You talk about they don't know who their history. Auburn fans is number one. They don't know what. They still think Bo Jackson is the quarterback for Auburn. That's how bad they are. How many receptions? How many times you think Bo is going to throw the ball this year? None. Not one time. Cam Newton was one hell of a wide receiver, wasn't
Good
he?
hit. Go get stiff arm. Get a stiff arm. That's what I'm talking about. Fire him up, man. Fire him up. Yeah, get him up.
All right, that's a good question. Who's the only player in 2004 by this time in January 2004? Who's the only player to be named the MVP of the Chick-fil-A Bowl twice? Don't cheat, Spencer.
I thought you wanted me to write this down. Make your mind up. Am I watching the game or am I writing the game? All right, here, I'm going to put a line through that one.
Go ahead and tell everybody the answer. I want to know.
Good run, good run.
Because somebody blew the coverage.
Now, that's where Clausen was sneakiest at, was running the ball. Because he don't look like he's got any speed, and he really didn't have that much, but he had more than what people gave him credit for.
Please tell me you got questions when our guest comes on, because I've been enjoying the game. I hope you got some questions. We're gonna look stupid.
Well,
so what did you eat that morning?
Is he gonna be watching the game too?
Yeah, he's gonna come in the second.
Good. We can ask the question why. What do you think about that play? What was going through your mind during that?
I was thinking about winning, motherfucker. Shit, what do you think we were thinking about?
Good cut. Riggs. Oh, Riggs.
Oh.
He's a good man.
Is he?
Good man. Very good man.
What's he doing today? Let me go to my Google machine. Riggs, Tennessee. Jarrett Riggs Jr. Let's see what he's doing. He went to the NFL, practice player.
First down, say that's decisive.
Call the game.
That running right there is what hurt Alabama. Right there. Drove me crazy during that game.
No, it's not saying what he's doing now.
My Joe Riggs.
Jarrett Riggs Jr. What's he doing now?
Don't know.
Huh?
Don't know what he's doing right now, no.
Now, his father was a good football player.
Good run. Let's stay on your feet.
Troy Fleming. These names I hadn't heard in years. All right. Let's see what Eli Manning's doing.
Ooh. That was sweet. This is a good move. I got to give it to him. That's a good move.
Eli Manning goes out of winning 31-28. And I heard the kid went to the NFL got drafted by the San Diego Chargers. Went to his daddy. He said, "Daddy, please don't let me play for the San Diego Chargers." And his daddy said, "You know what? I pull some strings. How do you feel about New York?" "Okay, I'll play there." 2 Super Bowls wins later, he becomes a Pro Football Hall of Famer. That's your history on Eli Manning.
Plenty of time.
Trivia question. Who?
Plant your foot. You didn't plant your foot. Go ahead. Sorry.
Who won the national championship this season?
2004.
2003. 2004 season.
Well, 3-4.
It was LSU, right?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Did anybody find out what that Nick Saban guy did after he left LSU?
Went to Miami. Didn't do much at all.
Miami, but when he left Miami, I haven't heard from him since.
You talking about after he left Miami?
Yeah, I heard he went to.
Oh, come on now.
I think he's coaching at some high school now.
Yeah, I think it's called Alabama.
Alabama High.
And still there.
Yeah.
And is coming on strong with the recruiting this year. Oh, dude. Yeah, smack yourself again. Yeah, that was screwed up. And I'm bragging about you, big man, and here you are to do that.
So, while we got some time,
yes,
let's go to the Google machine.
And your point is?
Hang on. Going to the here we go. So at the season end, 3 BCS automatic. Don't interrupt me. At the season end, 3 BCS automatic qualifying conference teams finished the regular season with 1 loss, with only 2 spots available in the BCS National Championship game. 3 BCS non-automatic qualifying conference teams are finished with 1 loss. TCU, Boise State, and Miami. Stirring the debate that the BCS is unfair. LSU defeated Oklahoma in the 2004 Sugar Bowl, securing the BCS National Championship. As the ESPN USA Today coaches poll was contrary obligated to vote the winner of the BCS National Championship game number 1, although 3 coaches violated their agreement by keeping USC atop of their ballots. Meanwhile, the AP number 1 USC beat number 5 Michigan in the 2004 Rose Bowl. The AP voters kept USC as top spot. Army became the first team in the NCAA Division I football Mountain Ridge to finish the season 0-13. Now, people don't realize Army, Notre Dame, schools like that used to be the forefront of college football back in the early 1900s. The Home 3PO Coach of the Year award, sponsored by ESPN, chose USC coach Pete Carroll as the award recipient, while the Par Bear Bryant Award, voted by the Association of Sports Writers, chose this guy, Nick Saban, who's coaches at LSU during this time. We still don't know where he's at now. He's somewhere in the South. Look him up. The Orange Bowl game was noteworthy in the Miami and Florida State previously had scheduled to play each other on Labor Day in 2004 in the Miami's first game. As a member of the Land Coast Conference, playing the Orange Bowl ensured that their next meeting would be each of their very next games in the first of the 2004 seasons. Raymond Priester. I knew that. No, I didn't. I'm just playing. So that's what's controversial. Now, the controversy, we can go more in depth. USC had lost triple overtime at California. LSU lost home to Florida on October 11. Oklahoma, which had been number 1 every BCS rating, AP and coaches poll of the season, lost to Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. Although USC then 11-1 finished ranked number 1 in both AP and coaches poll, LSU ranked number 2 with Oklahoma 12-1. Number 3, Oklahoma surpassed both USC and LSU on several BSCS computer factors. Oklahoma's schedule strength was ranked 11th to LSU's 29th and USC's 37th, which would come into play next season with Auburn. Oklahoma's schedule rank was 0.44 to LSU 1.16 and USC's 1.48. As such, although the timing of Oklahoma's loss affected the human voters, the computers kept Oklahoma at number 1 in the BCS poll. LSU was ranked number 2 by the BCS based on number 2 rank in the AP poll, the SES poll, the oh my God, it's so much crap. I'm glad the BCS is done for. This is it's BCS ranking here, 3 ranking, 5, 7 computer rankings. Why would you let a computer tell you what the hell you need to do? I don't understand. But Ted Watt, a CEO of Gateway Computers, offered the NCAA $31 million for a national championship game between USC, Louisiana State, but it didn't happen. So we had 2 national championships. And back to the game.
This is what you call watch along, huh? Oh, Lord. BCS was flawed in many ways. I won't deny that.
Yes.
But more often than not, they did have the 2 best teams playing against one another, if you agreed with it or not.
Well, Oklahoma and LSU, but they did play each other. So
good pass. Good catch. You want to do something?
I thought that was an interception. Was that an interception?
It was. That's what it was. It was a good pass, good catch. Good catch for Tennessee. It was an interception. You didn't see that, what I said. That was a great pass, good catch. Watch this Tennessee defender go up for this. Watch him. Ooh, right above him. I mean, if he wasn't there, it would have been off to the races. I mean, he goes up and gets it. That was a great catch.
I can't wait to see the copyright strike that I'm going to get for this game.
Why?
I don't.
What am I saying wrong?
No, the copyright strike or copyright claim.
Oh. I didn't know there was a copyright replaying old games.
Yeah, I'm playing somebody else's game. But I'm going to use, of course, when you argue it, we'll use the fair use.
But you ain't playing the vocals on it. So you don't really.
It don't matter.
Okay. Oh, well. Well, at least it wasn't me that screwed up this time.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I want to do this. All right.
Here we go. And, ooh.
First down. Brett Smith catches the ball.
And he knew he was going to get hit.
1st and 10 now.
8 minutes to go in the second. 8:48.
The one thing about college football, they love stopping that fucking clock.
Yeah, there you go. Tell me not to do it, and you're going to get me wound up. I'm biting my words back.
well, our guest is not going. We're not going to cut. Yeah, you know what? We got to cut down the cussing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Don't say words
and
like
for everybody watching, the cussing is the reason I was his last choice to come on here.
That wasn't true.
I'm ex-military, and it's just my vocabulary.
That's not true. I just had unreliable people surrounding me. I'm friends with selfish human beings that only care about themselves.
So far, I'm glad I forgot how good a game this really was.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. That's uh-oh, look at this.
Got it. Got him. Got him. Right there. Right there. Right there. Got him. Boom. Had him beat off the line. That was a great. I got to give it to Clausen. He did good. He knew he had
Who
him
caught the
beat.
ball? I didn't see who caught the ball. Don't make me rewind it. Who caught
The guy right
Miller?
there in orange.
Number 2. Is that Miller?
That's Clausen there. 10.
No,
Who
the
was
wide
10?
receiver.
10. Number 10. Whoever number 10 is. I couldn't tell you.
That was Miller.
Tell you. Only thing I know is he had him beat off the line. Clausen saw it and threw the ball on the one. He just ran and got it.
No, Jones.
M. Jones. Boom.
Miller Jones, I think his name.
Right there. I mean, beautiful pass. Look
Mike
at the
Jones.
Bam.
Mike Jones. I'm sitting there saying Miller. I can't see the list is so far away. It's hard to see with sunglasses.
That was a great read with pressure coming in his face. He saw that right off the line.
Mike Jones. Sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Jones.
Somebody's got to be cool with the sunglasses.
I keep telling him to change them bulbs in his room so it ain't so bright, but, you know. Kick off. What we got? What we got? What we got? Come on. Touchback.
I'm going to try to get Derrick Hamilton on the show.
That would be awesome.
I should have tried to get him on for this.
I like be nice. I know this is probably my last one because you're going to have people that's going to actually show up. But it'd be nice if you could get players who actually played the game and pick their brain on what was your mindset during this play. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, we got that coming up. We got 2 watch-alongs with former players. But, people don't want to stay and do, 3 hours, sit down for 3 hours and watch a game.
That is
Even
true.
our guest today, he was like, look, I got stuff
things to do, man.
Oh, here we go. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, get it.
They were there.
That's the only thing bad about Tennessee's blitz package. They left big holes.
Oh, their defense did not show up to play this today.
He's not a happy camper.
Was he ever a happy camper?
Don't know. Be honest with you.
He,
I guess when he reported Alabama, he was happy that day for that Ford Escort. He was happy that day.
was he?
An Alabama booster bought his mama a Ford Escort so she could get to work. Let me report that. Get them in trouble. All right, come on, y'all. Get up this line. Come on. You're looking tired here. Come on. Get up there. You're only down by 3. Come on. You're taking too long, linebackers. Get up there. There you go. There you go. Good play. Good play. See what happens when you bump them coming off the line? Take them off that timing route. We're going to dial up on this one. Here we go. 3rd and 5. Hold them here and get the ball back. Come on.
What's John Chavis? John Chavis is about to take a shit.
He always looks that way. He's serious.
No, he ain't. Oh, yeah, he's got to take that. He's constipated.
I know. Here we go.
I may lose my job after this season.
Get pressure. Oh, I don't know if he's in bounds or not.
Oh, it was flagged down.
Probably roughing the passer because he laid him out. I don't know. We didn't have that much roughing the passer back then.
Back then, can you believe they were talking about 2004 as like back then?
Good
Golly.
point. Well, I did graduate in 81, so there you go.
I wasn't even thought of when you graduated.
Biting my tongue.
I'll be right back.
Oh, the push off. Oh, get him automatic first down. Let me see the push off. Where's the push off? Oh, there's a push off. Okay. I got you. Even though it was overthrown. But yeah, I can see it. Yeah, okay.
What
Yeah,
happened? What did I miss?
He actually laid the wood to the guy. Even though the ball was overthrown,
What's
he
he?
did lay. Watch. He comes up, the ball's in the air, bam. Even though it was bad overthrown, but he nailed him and got the interference.
I'll be right back.
Right. Cool. Now we can talk a little bit of football now. All right. Looks like Tennessee is going to the 3-4 defense. No, they ain't it. 3-3. Going with 3-3, which they normally blitz out of this package. Got one bringing up, coming in. Yes, they did outside blitz, inside blitz, which leaves the middle open, but he missed it. Dropped it. There you go. He dropped it. Quit whining. Go on back there now. Come on, Whitehurst. Come on. Go on back. 2nd and 10 now. Here we go. Got to stop them. They're in field goal range already. Let's see what they dial up on this one.
Oh, so we can talk some football now. Every time I leave,
That's what I said. We're going to talk about. Hey, we got back up. We got 3 down linemen. 2nd and 10. They do have a tendency to run in this scenario. That's what I just said. 3 down linemen.
4.
You don't have to circle
3.
it.
Okay, they call it. If you would have made that, that would have been the play of the year.
3rd and 10. Here we go. Ooh, 33. You had him. And you just touched him and went on by. This ain't flag football. You should at least 2-hand touched. 3rd down and 10. Feel the pressure in the room. It's building up. First down. Yep. First down across the middle. 1st and goal. It's amazing going back and looking at these games how just a few little plays here or step there, just it changes the whole outlook of the game and the end of the game. We as fans, we do get upset during the game watching it, but you forget just how that one play changed everything to the end. So this, I kind of like watching this back games here.
I did. Did I pick a good game?
You picked a good game. Me personally, I always want to watch Alabama, but you did pick a good game.
Thank you, sir.
Now, the Alabama-Tennessee field goal game would have been better. That was a defensive struggle on both sides.
It would come.
That was one heck of a game.
We're trying. This is the tryout process. Let's get. Let's see. I during the game, I was talking to Martin Houston. He just declined for the 92 national championship game.
Right.
But he said he will try on his own show. So basically, I give him the concept.
There you go.
And he going to say, I may try it out on my show.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Mr. Houston. I hope it works out for you. Roll Tide. Bring it back.
All right. That's great defense right there. That's good defense. 6 minutes left. All right. Come on, y'all. Let's hold them to a field goal here. Come on. Oh, so y'all just what's this jumping around plan? What is this? What is? I don't get the jumping around stuff. Why? 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 If you just lined up and came after him. Okay, it is what it is. I forgot all about that. Doing jumping jacks back there, not going. I just snapped the ball and took off running right over there while they're over here. That Tennessee, that was embarrassing. All right, come on. Almost has me, though. All right, come on now. See, I've done forgot all about these. I forgot all about this. Time out. Come over here. Let's talk about it. Everybody get you some water. They're a little tired right now, so here we go. It's time.
All right. So
I don't know who these people are and don't care, so what you got going on? What'd you find out when you was gone?
I found out my daughter's lazy. She won't even get me something to drink.
There you go with the personal stuff again.
Well, I'm thirsty.
That's why I bring mine with me. And I got a little refrigerator right there.
Oh, that's back in my single days.
Putting plans together. I cannot remember what happens here at all. I'm trying to remember the next play, but I can't. So this is going to be new to me too, y'all.
Yeah, by the way.
Yes.
You know, I said I watched this game. I've kind of skimmed over it and did some research. I didn't watch this whole game. So we're both kind of watching this game for the first time. Hang on, let me talk to my lovely daughter when I'm talking.
Little trick play, and it worked. Little trick play.
Take the phone with you, Kelsey. No, I'm not editing this, so go.
That was a good trick. Very good trick play. Gotta give it to him. That was good. Caught him off guard.
What did I miss?
What's this trick play here?
There's no more. That was the last little bit.
It's putting the ball, take the snap and just set it on the ground. He just took the snap and set it on the ground. And got to take it, ran out of the way with it. That was a good trick play. Well, Tennessee did the jumping around defense. It didn't work, so. Ooh, now this is where we start sweating. Ooh, up by 10 again. Now we're sweating. Got to get on with it. Come on now. I mean, that was a good play. I can't argue with good plays.
What did I miss?
Nothing. We're just showing the trick play.
Where's it got another trick play?
No, that was the same one. They just re-showed it. 10-point lead again.
Let's see.
Their mistakes in that first quarter give them 10 points. Keeps haunting them back to back to back. Now, what's so sad? See, look at him. Just sets it down. Boom. He picks it up, and away he goes.
Are you writing these questions down about these trick plays?
What questions do you want? I've written down what you
God. All right, when our guest comes on and we're sitting there looking at each other.
What other questions you want? That was a trick play.
That's about the trick plays. You can't just talk about bank suspension. You should have told me you had a pen and a piece of paper. Oh, Oh, put your hands up.
Oh, pouring down rain here. All right, Tennessee, you're going to have to put it together now. Come on. You're forced to pass about every time now. Oh, bad pass, bad pass. Oh, pouring down hard here. I'm going to have to shut the door. You'll probably be hearing this here in a second. All right, come on now. Let's call some decent plays here. You got time to run it down the field. Everything don't have to be a home run. Come on. First down first.
Oh my
Come
God.
on.
Are you really cheering for Tennessee? Stop it.
Go. There you go. Run. Come on. There you go. First down. What I'm talking about right there.
For seriously, if you want to, I'll put $100 on Clemson.
You give me 14 points, I'll take that bet.
You stop.
I enjoy watching it, man. Like I told you, I'm an old lineman. And
We love
I
good
enjoy
old fashioned foot. We love football. What can we say?
I do. I love football.
This is a good fuck. This is a
And
good.
I don't think you want to do. I don't think you want me to do is take notes. I'm getting into the game here.
But we got somebody coming on that
that.
we got fans gonna want to know, like, what happened.
I've already got that written down. That was one you asked me earlier to bring up. It's like
Now with all these trick
4
plays,
notes ago.
which I don't think Clemson did all these trick plays during the season. I like to say that
Actually, yes, they did.
during the 2003 season.
Yes.
That would explain why they were doing so bad.
Yep. First down. It's that extra effort there. See, that kind of stuff I like watching. Going back and looking and seeing that extra effort that a player puts out.
He's thinking about that new NFL contract he's going to get pretty soon.
No, he's wanting in the game. He's biting it to bits. Oh, sidestepped him. Might as well run now. There you go.
See, you said he sucked.
I do not respect the man at all. I didn't say he sucked.
Why don't you respect him? What did he
I
do
just
to you?
to me, he's not a legend. Is all I said.
What did he do to you?
Nothing to me. Now, he did beat my Alabama in 5 overtimes in 2003, yes. And I still do not appreciate it.
Okay. You respect Jason Campbell?
Here we go. In no. Interference. Throw the flag. Throw that flag.
Do you respect Jason Campbell?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He beat Alabama like 4 years in a row.
I know.
And he did a lot. He has done a lot for CTS. So why can't you respect the freaking quarterback for Tennessee?
Just the way I roll.
Oh, I like Jason Campbell, but I don't like this guy right here. Okay. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Got him. Pull his arm. Yeah, smack that
Didn't
on.
touch
It
him.
was still overthrown. It was overthrown. So
That was a pass interference. I've literally seen people tackle before the ball was even thrown, and they didn't call pass interference.
That is true. Not nowadays. They call it targeting.
Man, these are some long ass corridors.
Yep.
This is why I don't like living on the East Coast.
Uh-oh.
If you had to go to work in the morning,
dude, you lost 15 more yards.
I don't know what y'all do, and I guess I shouldn't say this on TV, but I call out. I schedule vacation time because I'm going to stay up and watch the whole game, especially if it's my team.
It's my team. I'm watching the game.
Yeah, I'm watching the game. Now, I'm not
good or
back
bad.
In my young days,
I'm gonna watch it.
Back in my young days, I was going to get 8 hours sleep regardless. If I'm going to be late for work or I'm calling out for work. And if I had too much to drink, that bed, it becomes very comfortable when you wake up. You may just call out. I ain't going to lie to you. When I worked out in Fort Bend in Georgia, my grandfather and my grandmother died at least 8 times.
And you're admitting that.
What are they going to do, fire me? I don't work there no more.
No, it just shows your character.
I was 21.
Got you on that one.
It shows my character, my ass, like you didn't do shit like that.
And here I am trying to watch a game. And right now, Tennessee O-line has let me down in this drive big time.
Is your grandfather still alive?
No, sir.
And how did he vote for Biden?
Or my father.
How did he vote for Biden?
Answer I have no clue, sir.
I just showed you you're his character. Says you're going to question my character.
That's kind of easy.
Let's see what's going on here. Couldn't hold on.
Nope. That drive hurt. Dang, just few here, few there. First, I'm going to say the first 7 minutes of the first quarter, the little mistakes that Tennessee made got them behind these 10 points. But we could do that on any game we watch.
Yeah.
It just, I forgot about them. Now they're debating what we're going to have at halftime. You ordered for delivery yet? Okay.
Yeah, the good thing about different conference referees, the coaches don't know these guys. So it's not like they can sit there and they don't know how they kind of look at the game differently. Right. You know what I mean? Look at all these ladies on Robinson, Nebraska News, Bowl Week's Best.
Here we go. Come on now. Here we go. See what we got. See what the D can do here. Can you get the ball back? You got time if you can stop them in 3 downs. They're playing like they're going to pressure them.
We've been recording for an hour and 36 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Almost 2 hours.
I got to watch 30 minutes of the game.
What are you talking about?
I've been doing notes the other 30. I'm messing with you, Joey. I'm just messing with you. All right, come on. Let's get a little physical. Let's get a little fight before halftime here. Come on.
They turn the camera away.
Let's throw a mustard bottle or something.
This ain't the 70s when there used to be a fight and they used to show the whole fight. Nowadays, they turn the camera off, show pictures of the fans.
Well, I'm glad that was a flag he had. I thought he put out a mustard bottle there for a second, waving in the air.
That's the Ole Miss games.
I had to throw that in there. Couldn't help it.
And pressure from the backside.
Take him out of bounds. There you go.
Oh,
you
that looks like face mask.
Smart.
No face mask.
No, Lord, no. It was out of bounds when he grabbed it. All right, here you go. Clock stop. You got to stop them on this one. It's amazing looking at these games now, how much technology has changed.
People don't know this. In this last season, he got hurt.
No, it didn't.
This past season. So.
Oh, prevent. Oh, no.
When I say this past season, I
meant
this season.
Dude. Man, come on. Say him on the bench. He's there all day. He sees the ball coming, nobody around him, and misses the ball.
Who are you going for?
Watch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is here. All right, our guest is here, ladies and gentlemen, former head coach of the Clemson Tigers, legendary coach Tommy Bowden. Tommy, Coach Bowden, how are you doing today? And I can't hear him. Time out. I can't hear you. This is what I love about.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear Joey.
He can't hear you, Joey.
I can hear Spencer.
You can hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But you can't hear Joey.
Cannot hear Joey. I can hear. I can see him. I can hear you.
All right, hold on.
I knew Joey'd mess this thing up somehow. I can't believe it. How can you mess up a Zoom call?
I love it.
Dadgum.
Back to the game. Here we go.
All right. I like where I am right now, 24-14. I'll take it.
Well, you stayed up 10 points whole first half.
I like this game so far.
Tennessee had Banks. James Banks was suspended the first half.
Okay.
Of this game. Tennessee.
What was the did that affect y'all on defense? Did you know about this?
Yeah, not really. I don't even know if we knew much about the suspension. You know, a lot of times I don't remember specifically. You know, a head coach will keep it private simply because he doesn't want to. You know, he doesn't want anybody to know. But so you can't prepare. But we were more concerned about the overall talent. I think they might have been ninth in the nation at this time. So regardless of whether they were minus one player, we just felt like they were really, really talented. So one player wouldn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, they were actually number 7 in the nation. I believe as we said in the beginning, they upset at Miami. Am I correct, Spencer?
Tennessee did, yes. Tennessee upset Miami.
Yeah, upset Miami. Lost to an unranked Auburn team and got beat by number 8 Georgia. Now, here comes some tough questions, Coach Bowden. You was on the chopping block. Y'all went 5-4.
Oh yes.
You know, how do you do as a head coach deal with that type of pressure, knowing that your job is on the line? You know, is it something that you kind of just take out of your head and it's like, look, I got a job to do. I'm going to do my job, and whatever happens, or is it like, oh,
you know, the volatility of the profession? You're well aware of that before you go into it. I was lucky. I had Terry, my brother, who was a head coach at a volatile place, Auburn, and my father at a Power 5 program. You know, so I'm familiar with the volatility. My father had been on the chopping block at West Virginia. Had gone, in fact, he'd even gone before a board. They had voted I think it was 2-2 to either fire him or retain him, and the president gave him a deciding vote to keep him. So I was familiar with that. If you let that bother, you'll never survive in this profession. But I think the game before this was South Carolina. We might have run, that might have been the one 63-17.
You're correct.
Yeah. So this win was important, but the South Carolina win was more important. I don't think we had championship games at this particular time. There wasn't an ACC championship game, so the South Carolina game was kind of like the ACC championship game. And then, of course, winning this bowl game.
We are back now with Coach Bowden. Sorry about the little technical issues there that y'all probably didn't see because it's been cut out already. But anyway, Tommy, after watching this game over, there's so much of it I have forgotten about. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions about this first half to begin with. When y'all come out in the second quarter there, you're already up by 10 points on Tennessee. So did y'all go into a prevent defense, try to keep everything in front of you, trying to eat as much clock as you could, or what was y'all's thinking at that point?
A little early to go into kind of prevent defense. It's all of a sudden a couple of turnovers, a couple of things. So we definitely did not want to slow anything down. You did keep everything in front of you. But you got to take chances. Some blitzing, you got to blitz. You got to put pressure on the man coverage. You're pretty vulnerable there. So, to be honest with you, we really any necessary adjustments in the second quarter, other than your normal adjustments, down distance, field position tendencies, things like that. They're the normal.
Yeah, it just kind of me after rewatching. I'm going, okay, they're up here and everybody wasn't blitzing that first drive in the second quarter by Tennessee. It wasn't y'all didn't put the pressure on like you did that whole first quarter, and they pretty much went down with some questionable calls here and there, but they went down and scored. The bottom line, and then y'all went back to putting the pressure back on. That's the reason I was just curious if. Because y'all's game plan been ahead. What I was saying it was working so well for y'all is keep that clock moving, keep it running, get them big, nasty offensive linemen, wore down. I thought the game plan was very good for you.
Well, running back named Chad Jasmine, about 225 pounds. I think he was MVP of the bowl game. Rush the football does one of the things you just said. You keep the ball. You take time off. He allows a play action pass to be a lot more effective, or run action pass, whatever you want to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when you can run the football like we did, a guy named Chad Jasmine, who he's signed out, brought up to Clemson. He got on a radar when I was at Tulane, but the fact makes such a huge difference on being able to do what you just said.
Right.
Be able to take time off, stay on the field.
Well, that was one of my biggest questions there. But now you've got the lead going in at halftime. You're still up by 10. You pretty much had complete control of the first half of the game. What was your message to the guys when you went in at halftime?
Well, first of all, keep doing change anything. You got a good lead. Your guys are playing well. I don't think you over a whole lot at this particular time. So to be honest with you, the biggest thing is keep doing what your complacency. A lot of times when you get ahead, all of a sudden your players say, "Okay, this is going to be easy. We can take it easy now," and you really can't. The biggest thing we knew at halftime is that Tennessee they came in, I think, 9th in the nation, or at least in the top 10 by some polls. So we knew capable of. Biggest thing for us is don't turn the ball over. See if we continue off the clock.
How much did you bring up any of that past Florida State game that season up at halftime to them and say, look, see what happened in this game? Did you bring any of that up?
Oh, yeah, you always bring up similar circumstances. That's what they remember. The players, you got to remember you're dealing with 18, 19-year-olds and like that. Hey, remember the last time we were ahead or the last time we were behind? We remember what happened. We started playing consistent. We weren't very intense. We didn't play with a lot of emotion. All those things you bring up and you can usually draw from past experiences of some game where you can refer to that those guys can relate to.
I understand that because them losses, they do leave a scar on you, and that's a good one to pick at. Coach Saban's a master at picking them scars. Could you give me a little overview of that whole season in a whole, how you felt about it and how proud you were of your people and the ups and downs of that season altogether?
I was really proud of those things. I think we mentioned earlier, we started out like as good as we had wanted, and we put a streak together there at the end where I believe we beat South Carolina 63-17, beat Tennessee in the bowl game. So we had some bowl game, but during the middle of the season, typical on a Power 5 job, when expectations are high and you don't do well, there's always rumblings of, let's get rid of the current, whether your players are reading it, how much distraction is going to be to them, how much distraction for, when they get home, their wives, they go out and they hear all that stuff, so they bring it up to the assistant coaches. So there's no doubt that we were under some criticism as far as you just really have to buckle down as a head coach and keep your assistants focused, and you're really very proud of the team by staying focused, coming back and putting together some big wins and this huge victory over Tennessee in the Peach Bowl.
That's true. One thing that I did notice about that season is real apparent just watching the sidelines on this first half against Tennessee in the bowl game here was the I'm going to say continuity and respect that the assistant coaches had for you during that time. Could you speak about how great it was to have that group of people around you during that season?
Oh, yeah, I think to know who's in charge. And, you look at Coach Saban. Now, his probably management style is a little bit different than mine.
Right.
But, again, I think my coaches have always been respectful. I think it's important if a head coach wants to have success, he's got to me, you give him some responsibility. You hold him accountable. My management's delegation than micromanagement. There's really two kind of management styles. You can be a micromanager or you can be a delegator, hire good quality guys, give them some responsibility, let them get some confidence, sure the ship's headed in the right direction. So
right.
I try to do that in my assistants, and usually didn't lose unless I lost them to, at this particular time, I used to lose them to Alabama because they could.
All right, let's go back to this game against Tennessee. A couple of things I was curious about. One, on your game prep for the game, when you knew, because that year Tennessee had a nasty offensive line. They were awesome, and you had to prepare. What did you see a weakness in them? Did you see something technical that they wasn't doing that you felt that y'all could take advantage of before you went into the game?
It seems like the philosophy going in that game was, like you said, and you can always negate that by putting more bodies up there than they have blockers. And you put up 6 defenders, well, they're short one. They bring in a tight end, get 6 blockers, you can fall back and go 7, you can put up 8. So, and we felt like if we could, I don't know so much stop it, but slow it down and make their quarterback beat us. We thought he was a great quarterback. So we felt like if we could outnumber them up front, even though they might be experienced and bigger on the defense, on offensive line than we're on defense,
right.
Let's outnumber them. Let's make them throw the football and see if that quarterback can beat us. And I think we're pretty good.
Did you think by the end of that season that Tennessee's play calling was predictable?
I spend more time as an offensive play call and offensive coach studying their tendencies. Now, they won 10 games, so they were predictable. They did pretty good, but I know that there are certain tendencies they had. Bowl game, you got about 3 or 4 weeks to prepare. You take all their 12 games and you put them in, develop some tendencies, whether it be down and distance tendencies, whether it be field position tendencies, formation tendencies. So yeah, there are some things we discovered that we thought to us, but they were pretty productive on offense, and yeah, I think.
All right, we're back on
second half.
So, Coach Bowden, what are you thinking about at this point? You're up by 10.
The biggest, the biggest thing we talk about at halftime is that emotion, the same energy, the same enthusiasm. That's how you got to play this game. Now, all of a sudden, you got at halftime, and your players think the game's over. So what you will talk to your team about is starting the game with the same emotion, intensity, and the second half that you started the game in the first quarter. About turning over, things like that, and there'll be some X and O's adjustment, but a lot of it, and coming out and kind of taking charge in the second half.
So doing an onside kick never crossed your mind there?
Yeah, not with a lead. Tennessee right now we've held them pretty good. I'd have to be smoking marijuana at halftime to come out there on onside.
Playing good defense right there. I'll give you that.
Well, that again. That kind of is an indication of what we talked about and what we wanted to happen. Backs against the wall with an early sack and throw them behind the chain. So that the players that you have their attention.
Oh, before we get started, this is the third time you and me have talked. I have to do it. Just for the Auburn fans. How's your brother Terry?
Yeah, they start up at University of Louisiana Monroe. They've already started football, so he won't see him again until December now.
Well, that's very nice. So Auburn fans. All right, so tell me about
his defense. Go ahead.
Tell me, how proud was you with this young quarterback you have right here?
Charlie Whitehurst. I don't know if you're his. So when we knew that he would have some pretty good DNA in his bloodlines. Tall guy, about 6'4.5", had a really good arm, but his composure and was really, really advanced for a young guy. But again, a lot of that came from his dad being in the NFL, and he started as a first game as a starter, threw for 400 yards versus Duke. So we were performed in the bowl game. He beat South Carolina's right. He beat them 4 years. I thought the only Clemson quarterback to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that strikes me about this game is that his composure. Sophomore. People don't understand. The people look at these kids today and they come off out of high school and become superstars. During this time in college football, you really didn't ever see that.
Don't go backwards. Don't run backwards. Don't run backwards.
Yeah, that guy right there is a guy named Derrick Hamilton, the college wide receiver. He came out in the NFL. He came out, I thought, a year too early. Maybe it might have went in the second and third round, but had he stayed, I thought he probably had a better chance to last in the NFL.
Yeah, did he
going back to Charlie,
he went to the 49ers, right?
Yeah, I forget where he went, but he didn't stay very long, and I thought I don't think he played wide receiver in high school, so he was unpolished. I thought he really needed a little more year of experience.
Yeah, well, Clemson fans love him now.
Here he is right here, Derrick Hamilton. Just a little speed sweep, picked up 11 charge. Really lanky guy, tough guy, and really had a
he was a good player for y'all.
Yeah, good.
Let's talk about the Florida State game real fast. It was an emotional game for you. You know, that game and the South Carolina games kind of would it be fair to say, I don't want to insult you, but would it fair to say the reason those two games are the reasons why you stayed at Clemson for a very long time?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's say not a long time. Let's just say because that's about all you're good for in college football. You do enough to get you through another year. You know, those wins, there's no doubt. The Florida State, you know, when I went to had not scored a touchdown in Tallahassee in 10 years. So we ended up beating them 4 out of my last 5 years. So we had a ways to Florida State, but the win you're talking about before this Tennessee game a few weeks before, no doubt, as far as my tenure as staying at Clemson for another year is really important. Beating Florida State and then and beating Tennessee that's what gets you a contract extension.
Oh yeah! Oh, look at Dabo.
Yeah, young coach. This year at I think it was his first year at Clemson, but Coach Derrick Hamilton.
And he had a long career. I wonder what he's doing today.
He's probably chased them down, trying to keep him freshman happy. He's got, you know, not let him jump in the transfer portal. You know,
somebody told me the Clemson parking lot looks like. Somebody told me the other day the Clemson parking lot starting to look like a Chrysler dealership. That didn't come from me.
That NIL.
That's why they call Texas ATM now. The other day.
I'm sure Nick Saban's used that joke once or twice. Yeah, this, you know, it's like I said, the game has changed so much, you know.
Yeah.
And the transfer portal, they can just take off at any particular time. Gosh, and then the great throw by Charlie. I think that's Kevin Youngblood.
Kevin Youngblood.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about Kevin Youngblood. You know, where did you find him? He obviously was a beast.
Yeah, you know, you remember Rick coaching? Rick Stockstill, who's the head coach of Middle Tennessee right now, was
right.
A receiver. Kevin out of Jacksonville, and just a really good player. And don't say anything Secret Service up there in Washington D.C. He'll come back and put some dag on hand, but just a really good player. Big, like I said, big tall target too. Did with 5. If you got good hands, you don't have to have really good speed.
You saying Kevin Youngblood's in the Secret Service now?
No, yeah, he is. Yeah, I know he is. He's in the Secret Service.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just a class guy. So make sure you don't stand anything big. Got that day on 9mm. He'll put a couple of slugs in you.
Let me ask you, who was your leader on this team? Your locker room leader?
You know, Jasmine, right there, our running back that was MVP of the game, and we had some defensive guys, some upperclassmen, defensive linemen, who I believe he's really high up. I think with the Atlanta Falcons system, but he was a defensive lineman that's a really good leader. Khalid Vaughn, a defensive end, good. And I want to think I saw Leo Lines there, who played linebacker for us. Who played with the Seattle linebacker for us. So we had most of our really older leadership was on the time.
So Coach Farmer, what did you think of him?
Well, he was a really, really good coach. You know, my undefeated year at Clemson in 1998, we were at Tulane, Tennessee, the only two undefeated teams, but he was the head coach of the national championship. And, it's amazing because they have not had the success at Tennessee since he left. And I remember
no doubt.
a young guy came to Alabama named Nick Saban, and he ran out Phil Fulmer, ran out three at least two good coaches. But he set that standard so high at Alabama, didn't survive at Tennessee, and he's a really good coach.
Yeah, Clemson and Alabama, especially during your tenure, 2008. I remember 2008 because that was the first game of Julio Jones, and your first game of the season was against that Alabama team. Now, when you saw the second season of Nick Saban, did you think Nick Saban was going to have that much success? Because personally, for me, I thought Nick Saban may win a national championship and then go somewhere else in the NFL, try the NFL career. That's what I thought. I was wrong.
I don't know if
I'm glad I was wrong, but you saw so many players like Julio Jones' first game. Did you think Alabama was going to do what Alabama has done now?
No, I don't think anybody. I don't think if Nick Saban did. I'm sure he thought he would have success. He'd won a national championship LSU, his pedigree and a nice resume. But I don't know if he anticipated as much, just as I don't know if Dabo anticipated the success he's had at Clemson. But you mentioned that year, Julio Jones, some people had him there in high school, the number one signee, and another, and a lot who we signed. Do you remember who the other guy was that we signed?
Who?
Y'all, either one. Daquan Bowers.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and some the recruiting services, two of them maybe had Julio Jones as the number one player, and Daquan Bowers is the number one player in America. We got one, they got the other. They both played. Now, playing Daquan Bowers, he was just a true freshman like Julio, but we lost a guy named Rick and against Alabama, and then he had to go there as a tackle they had as a true freshman, and then we couldn't block a guy named Terrence Cody. That big nose guard weighed about 400 pounds.
Nobody could block him.
Well, nobody knew about him either. He was a junior college guy, and like I said, undefeated that year, and that was their first really, really big year. That year they beat us in the Chicken Season Bowl in Atlanta, and I thought they were the better team, and I thought they had better players, but they went on to be undefeated, and I think win the national championship, if not play for it.
That was then. We're still in 2000. We're January 2004 right now. We only got maybe about 10 minutes left with Coach Bowden. Hopefully, we got more than that, but maybe 10 minutes. So we got to get back to this game. All right. After you win this game, all right, I think the cat's out of the bag. It's been 18 years now. If you don't know they won the game, then sorry, spoiler alert. Is it celebrate, take a week off, kiss the family, or is it back to work?
I remember it was night game, going back to my room, hotel, getting something to eat. Token, who's the president of the Peach Bowl, wanted me to come down and talk to the volunteers when I got, which I did. And then the next day, you get up, go recruiting. There's no celebration. You're on the road the very next day. Your wife might take off we drove that bowl game because it was so close. The wife and the kids take off. I went to what most head coaches do. Now, it's a lot easier to recruit in a lot of environment when you win like this. But, no, you don't take any time off. I had signed a new contract, based on the way we'd finished that season. season. So recruiting season with a lot of momentum. And this might have been the year that we signed C.J. Spiller. I forget. I don't know if you remember that name out of Jacksonville, running back out of Jacksonville. All right. Yeah.
You said C.J. Spiller?
No, C.J. Spiller. I don't know if you remember C.J. Spiller. Yeah. Spiller. C.J. Spiller was he was out of number one draft pick of the Buffalo Bills. But when you talked about them, you win this game, you go on the road recruiting.
You're talking about the running back.
The running back, yeah. Spiller, C.J. Spiller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember him. He was a running back for the Buffalo Bills. I didn't know he played for Clemson, though.
Yeah. We signed him, but you talked about the importance of this game. We signed Bowers, who was the number one. Some people felt like either him or Julio Jones the number one. Then because of that, we go out this year after this game, go out and sign C.J. thought was the number one tailback. He was from Florida, number one tailback in the nation. So beating a school like Tennessee, who had 10 wins and was nationally ranked, really helped.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. So after you won this game, you start seeing the bigger recruits.
Exactly. That the facilities, some new facilities. So winning some games like this, and then the recruiting definitely picked up. Again, here, I think that's one of the best things we did. We pressured that quarterback and made him beat us. Quarterback, but not quite good enough to beat us.
So the reason why they're throwing the ball because y'all pretty much stopped the run the whole game.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit earlier about the ability to stop the run. One-dimensional. If you can, take away the run and make them throw the ball, it really gives you pass rush, coverages, things like that you can do if you make them one-dimensional. For example, stopping a run, And, of course, you got a 10-point lead. They're trying to, the quarterback can't beat us. So they're trying to make something in the running game. Then you make the run action pass and play action pass a lot more effective.
And
I got one quick question, if you don't mind, Joey.
Go ahead.
Sitting here watching this third quarter here, did y'all pick something up on their signs in the first half? Because in this whole third quarter, y'all were shifting right into where the plays are going just about every single time.
Good job by our defensive coordinator. But I will tell you this, and most coaches do this. They were hand signal. Things have gotten a little more advanced now, but I always had somebody in the press box, and they were on the signal caller and looking for signals. As an offensive,
you answered my question. Thank you.
Picking up defensive, and it's but when you signal, blitzes are usually longer signals, specific areas where they have to go. So we plan defensively. I'm sure we studied hard to get theirs, and they did the same on us, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I was just curious. Thanks, sir.
Well, if you watch the game with the sound, the keys of the game, they can't always use like what the announcers will tell us what you have to do to win the game, and basically, they said Tennessee's going to have to run the ball, and obviously they tried to run the ball, and Clemson's defense showed up.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, it's real big. It's just so funny to me how this team that were looking for a national championship at the beginning of the season, lose to Auburn, lose to Georgia, and then redemption time comes along, and they're supposed to beat this unranked Clemson team. The SEC should never lose to the ACC, according to all SEC fans. But Clemson comes in and knocks this dominant team down. Fans, please, you got to understand this was not Tennessee of 2023, 2022. This is at one time was one of the dominant teams in the SEC. Tennessee, Georgia, Florida.
Real quick, Coach, that play right there with Banks, that was a clean hit, in my opinion. Today's football, that would have been called targeting.
Yeah. Today it would have been targeting. Yeah.
So with that said, Coach Bowden, you have gave us so many memories, and I hope I got your phone number. I'm gonna be calling you every day this week. I'm playing.
Block his call, block it.
I know we're gonna see you. I know we're gonna see you again on the CTS. Right now, you want to tell everybody what you've been up to, social media wise, any new projects coming up?
Right now, after my father a couple of years ago and passed away last year, I kind of withdrew from TV. Mother will be 90 in September. Now I do a lot of Christian speaking. Fly around. I'm going to be going to Texas and Virginia and South Carolina, just more or less doing raised in a Christian home. My father always did a lot of it, and like father, like son. I didn't know he had, but I'm trying to win as many souls as he did. He died trying to. I do a lot of Christian speaking and enjoy it, and that's pretty much occupies my time.
Well, anytime you want to come to CTS, I really mean this. This is how people like to say, like talk and give you an invitation. Anytime you want to come on by, just come on by. This is for real. Anytime you want to come on the CTS and tell everybody about Jesus and how he died for our sins, you're more than welcome. And also, even though this is a sports channel, if you want to come and talk about some football, you're more than welcome to come. I know I'm going to hit you back up to be a guest in the near future. You're always there for us, so we do appreciate you. I mean, we consider you family. With that said, we have to let Tommy Bowden go because he's got a lot of stuff to do today, and he took the time off to come sit with us today. So we really do appreciate you. And, thank you. I don't want to let you go, but you got to go. So last words.
Yeah. Hey, after once the season gets started, let's do it again and see how the portal's going and see how the season's going. So we'll do it again. And if sometimes you got to take 15, 20 minutes, some kind of Christianity and sports, let me know, and I'll be glad to do that also.
You want what y'all do? We don't do nothing. We don't do nothing for you. You do everything for us. And yes, me and you definitely need to be in talks about making a sports Christian show on the CTS. That Tommy Bowden being part of the CTS would be something special. But we'll talk about that later. As of right now, Tommy Bowden, the legendary coach. There he is right there on the screen. Yes, he knows he's the winner. Tommy Bowden, I appreciate you coming by, man.
Houston Nut. Shut up, Spencer. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to click myself off for 1 second.
All right, so the report was Houston Nut. Was he going to Nebraska or was he staying at Arkansas? So really and truly, I don't remember. So let's look it up. Let's go to the Google machine. He stays at Arkansas. So yeah, good for Houston, good for Nut. And then after he leaves Arkansas in 2007, he goes to Ole Miss. Good for him. And he's still a young man too. He's only 64. He should be coaching somewhere. It was about was Houston not going to leave Arkansas for Nebraska.
Right.
Come find out he stays in Arkansas.
He was not a good head coach.
He must have been that good. I mean, hell, he coached for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's still young, and the bad thing about it, he's 64 years old. He can still be coaching.
Could be.
Like Muschamp. I think Muschamp's a good coach. Muschamp. Chump.
Mm-hmm. Muschamp.
He got that Nick Saban temper. I saw a video of him and Nick Saban together when they at LSU, and they both Nick Saban and him, they were both going like screaming, and the whole team was trying to pull both of them back. Like, get the I was like, come on, now that's special.
These fans are feeling it for Clemson. They can definitely feel it. Lord have mercy.
Hang on a second.
All right. Coming out. Let's see this play calling. See if they change it up any at all. So far, they've been doing the same thing all the second half. See if they change it up any at all. Well, he did dump it short that time. Clemson just teeing off big time. They're trying to hurt somebody now.
Real Muschamp. I remember he also did a thing at Auburn where he was screaming, and the head coach had to come over there and say, "Hey man, you need to calm down." I love those fired up coaches. I wish I wouldn't mind him being a coordinator at Alabama. Give him some Xanax. Tell him to sit his ass down.
Third and 6.
If you gonna act like Nick Saban, you need to win like Nick Saban.
Blitz package coming in, and he dropped the ball.
Jones dropped the ball.
Little plays, little things.
That's been pretty much the whole game. Jones dropped the ball.
Yep. I mean, he's putting the ball there. I mean, right there. I mean, throwing your numbers. You can't ask for nothing better. They're getting close. Got a great leg. Didn't he go on to have a good NFL career?
The punter?
Yeah. Call quick.
I guess. I don't know. Man, this is 20 years ago, dude.
You got your data there. Look it up.
The Google machine? Man, what would I do for the Chick-fil-A right now? I ain't gonna lie to you. This is recorded on a Sunday, y'all. So.
Oh, a little late hit out of bounds. And, yep, there it is. Yep. Give him 15 more yards. Frustrations are definitely kicking in. $11 minutes left. They got plenty of time. They're only down by 10, and they're already throwing in the towel. They're letting all that smack talking get to them at this point.
All right, I got a feeling Tennessee can come back from this.
All right.
Yeah, let's keep playing football.
Cheap shot out of bounds on the knee even. That was a dirty shot. That was a dirty shot.
Yeah. You know a game I would like to do? The LSU-Alabama National Championship game. The one that majority of the country said was the most boring game in the world. I thought it was the greatest game ever.
Well, but I won't say ever. I like the Alabama-Miami game myself. Championship game.
Well, Alabama and LSU, Alabama dominated LSU. The defense dominated LSU. Alabama fans were mad about that game. I was like, what the? I'm sorry. How many points did LSU score on Alabama?
3.
And who won the championship? I was like, well, yeah, it wasn't fun to watch. I had a great time.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I don't know what the hell.
I love good defensive games.
Yeah.
Now, granted, don't get me wrong. These high-scoring games are fun too, but
not when is your team. If you're emotionally attached to the game, I do not want a, touchdown.
Right.
Our pressure can only do so much. So it gets to stroke level. It's like, no, I don't want to see. I want to see 0, 15.
Missed tackle.
Was that a touchdown?
It was. They called it back for holding.
Oh. Somebody watched this game before.
But it was still. No, I saw it over there, but it was still a missed tackle.
Oh, okay. No, when you're emotionally attached to a team, you don't want to see points on the scoreboard. You want to see your team score points, and you don't want to see the other team score points. Now, if I'm watching USC, Michigan, and I saw a game like that, yeah, I'll probably turn the channel.
Well, they don't have no defense either side, so.
Well, I saw some, great games when it comes
right
to
there, see?
Yeah,
hey, right in the middle of your screen. He's still holding his jersey.
he wants a souvenir.
But still, the Tennessee's cornerback missed the tackle all the hell and back.
After this drive, we're going to fast forward a little bit.
You don't want to give me 14 points on this game?
No.
Okay.
Hey, I should be playing for that team over there. Why I ain't playing for them? My mama told me to come here. I said, Mom, why do I need to come to Tennessee? Why Tennessee? I could be a Clemson Tiger. Shit. Aubrey offered me like $10,000. I should have been there.
Now the umpires got to get their time on.
Talk about a diet.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh. Watch step.
Okay. Roughing the passer. Automatic first down.
I wonder how. Did he really oh, come on!
That's
Come on,
BS.
that was a cheap shot.
That was not a cheap shot.
That was a cheap shot.
He's in full stride, and he just pushed.
Well,
He didn't even die. He just pushed him.
The quarterback had left the
He
ball.
needed that quarterback. That quarterback needs an Emmy. He needs an Emmy award. That was acting to his finest.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
He touched him again without the ball.
Yeah, but that last play,
He just pushed him.
Tennessee, even though I think they were just like, if people don't understand, this is back when bowl games were important.
Yeah.
Nowadays, players won't even show up for bowl games. They have to get some of the students from the school to come play because they're like, "Hey, we're not playing for a national championship." Then the hell with them. But back in the day, this time, bowl games were very important. Just to go to a bowl game.
You're right.
Was it like a special occasion?
Because it depended on the money that's going out to the colleges. That's why how important these games were.
Well, to the players too now.
Yep. They didn't think about setting out. They was looking at that next step in the NFL. They wanted more film.
Yeah. Not just that. I mean, the pride.
Yeah, you really needed Clemson Tom on this one.
Nah, I don't think we're gonna see any more Clemson Tom. Clemson Tom, his son is doing like he's
awesome.
Ireland,
Awesome.
Germany. Yeah, that kid's about to go pro at like 6. I don't know where he's getting the money to do all this stuff from, but he won't tell me because I'm like, shoot, if I had that money, my kid ain't gonna be no golf pro. My kid's daddy will be a pimp.
Oh, he's drinking out of the blue bottle. What's in that blue bottle?
That works.
I should have asked Coach that.
Yeah, you should have.
Not all of them have blue bottles. What's in the blue bottle?
Look at the kid falling asleep.
Yep. So we got this.
We
got this, and I'm out.
Yeah. What are they doing?
Pinky promise.
Here we go. Touchdown. Oh.
Nope.
Get up in my face.
I'll say they hold him to a field goal. Look at you looking it up.
We're going to fast forward a little bit.
And he makes his field goal, by the way.
Does he?
That's where their 27 points comes from. Oh, he missed it.
All right.
Yep, that's
hang on.
the Gatorade bath.
Oh,
there's a blue bottle again.
All right. We're back at fourth quarter. We fast forward all the way to the fourth quarter, 6:36.
Still 24-14. We hadn't lost nothing yet.
Yeah.
There's still hope.
The Clemson has the ball.
And another bad tackle.
I think this is where the field goal comes in. And then we'll go back to the Clemson fans are happy. You got to understand, this is the Clemson team, they don't win another national championship till like 2017, 2016, 2017 season.
Do you know how really know when your team has gave up, that's behind, is when you can look across that defensive line with 6 minutes left and you see clean uniforms. They're bringing people in to get experience for next year.
Well, I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah, but you still got 6 minutes. You're only down by 10.
But
Get stop here, get the ball back.
In college football, I don't think they ever quit. I think, especially at a 24-14 game, because there's still time left. By the NFL, NFL kind of like, okay.
We already talked with Coach Bowden there about the Florida State game.
Okay, look at that. The 2003 ACC Coach of the Year. I forgot to ask him about, that honor. He got the ACC Coach of the Year that year. But we had limited time with him. We didn't have time. So,
yep.
Technical difficulties. And both of y'all blame me.
See, they bring in their backup quarterback. That boy, the starter, drank too much of that blue bottle. They had to bring another guy in. See that nice, pretty white shirt he's got on?
See, you messed up.
And you hit that blue bottle one too many times, man. You need to stay over here. Bam.
Oh,
that's a good hit. But it was after the first down mark, but it was still a good hit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where you going? I wonder what happened to him.
Got beat up.
Let me go see. Let's go to the Google machine.
I mean, he got beat up. He did play a tough game in this one. He just got beat up. Ain't nothing. Ooh, ran over him. Oh.
I missed that. What happened?
He just ran smack over that safety. Ooh. And he's got a clean jersey on too. But watch this hit. Right. Bam, there. Folded him up like a paper.
All right, Casey Clausen, after he leaves this game, he goes to the Chiefs as a practice player, and then he plays with, I think, the NFL Europe for one season. Now he's a high school coach at Bishop High School in California. So, yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's the big trophy. Got the little trophy beside it.
See, this is the part where I'm mad that we get the miss because, with the Gatorade, you want him to be on for that part. But we had limited time, so I apologize. I'm sure we're going to do more watch-alongs with Tommy Bowden. And we got more watch-alongs coming up with other teams. We're even going to do a watch-along about Auburn. We'll get to it later. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on here and everything.
And it's going to be a whole lot better, y'all. Y'all need to watch these watch-alongs. It'll be a whole lot better. You ain't going to have me on here. It's going to be a lot more exciting. It's going to be great.
Stop with that. And a lot of stuff happened on this one. This is the first one. And
it's learning. That's what you do. You learn.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning. We'll get it down but I mean, it was fun. And Spencer did a great job. I did a good job. I'm going to say I did a good. Clemson fans did a good job. Look at that. Look at Clemson fans. They're all happy. Woo! We won a game. I see national championships in our near future.
I'm not going to say Tennessee would have won the game, but them miscues in that very first quarter, the first 6 minutes of the game, They put them up 10-0. Wouldn't have happened. This would have been a much tighter game at this point.
I don't think Tennessee was really that good of a team this year.
I have to disagree with that.
Who did they beat?
I'm talking as far as offensive line and all that. I thought that was one of the better offensive lines.
Who did they beat?
Quite a few to be there.
They went 5 times an underrated Alabama team. An Alabama team that was on probation.
Yeah.
They lost to an unranked Auburn team. And let's face the facts. The schedule they had was very, very light. You know, this was the time for an SEC fan. The argument was the reason why we're always losing in the SEC because we had to play each other and we got the best athletes. As we know now, and we learn later, with now players coming all over from the country, especially at Alabama, we kind of learned that that's not the case. Maybe it's time to admit the statute of limitations is over with. That the SEC wasn't really that good of a conference. Maybe. I'm just saying. I think we can now admit.
Shut your mouth. Go wash your mouth out with soap.
You can't be that right.
Shit.
Tommy Bowden's about to get it. He don't even know it. He's still trying to coach.
Yep. He always did.
Look at him.
Just he like coached to the end.
You got 3 great coaches: Tommy Bowden, Terry Bowden, and Bobby Bowden. 3 great coaches.
And they all coach to the end. Every single one of them.
No, Tommy's retired.
That's when I say the end of the game. The end of the game. They didn't quit coaching until the whistle blew.
I was like, geez. Now, Terry may.
Until all the zeros went up there, they coached to the very end.
Terry may coach to the end.
I ain't talking about the death.
I'm talking about Terry may coach to the end. Terry may coach to the day before he dies. Tommy's like, I want to enjoy life. All right, here comes the 27. See, to me, a minute 27, we still got a minute 27 left to play. See, today's football, don't give it up. We still got
okay, minute 27, they can score.
Yeah.
But that's today's football, not then.
Yeah, maybe. But let's go back to that argument. SEC football, during this time, you had basically Florida, Georgia, LSU. Here we go. He doesn't even see it coming. Do it now.
Yeah, before you electrocute him. Do it before he gets electrocuted.
I did that. You know what? We did that one time to a coach, and I pulled my Coke bottle on him, and the whole team got mad at me. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was new at this.
That's okay.
But, okay. So let's go back to this discussion. This is a very good discussion. Florida, LSU, Georgia, and Tennessee.
Yes.
That was the conference.
At that time, you're correct.
Okay.
But we're still better than everybody else.
How many teams are in the SEC?
I understand where you're coming from there, but look at your other conferences. How many teams are in them? What did you have? Clemson was the only one out of the ACC that year.
But my point, no, I didn't
say Big 10, Big 12.
Okay. First of all, I didn't say
10.
I didn't say ACC. We're talking about the SEC. Okay, this some
and SEC being better than everybody else.
We're not talking about Conference USA. We're not talking about the WAC 10, the WAC 12, or the Big 12, or whatever. We're talking about the SEC. Okay. Right. every team in the SEC except for the 4 teams I mentioned were unranked during this time. And it wasn't until next season when it became Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, LSU, and then Auburn.
All right, you had 5 teams, right? 5 powers, right?
Teams.
All right, look, that's the SEC. You had 5 powers right then.
Right there.
In the SEC. They had to beat each other up to get where they went, correct? You
Right.
agree? All right. Is there any other conference during that time that had 5 power teams?
I guess
If
there
they
you go.
didn't, the SEC was still the best.
I guess you proved that argument. I guess I was wrong and you was right. I didn't think of it that way. But when you lose to an unranked team on probation
Yeah.
in 5 overtimes, you're overrated.
By the coach that got you put on probation. Which was Phil Farmer.
There you go.
But anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
This is in the past.
Tennessee
And at least Tennessee ain't giving up. They're they're at least trying.
That's the end of the game right there. So,
All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been real. And I love Tommy being on here. I mean, that was a good perspective from a coach that was coaching the game. That was very good.
yeah. It was fun. So, yeah, we're going to try these watch-alongs out. We hope you like them. We don't know how they're going to go. But there's more to come. Let me get you back up here. There's more to come. What do you think so far?
Overall, I think it's a good concept. If you can get people who actually, you had a coach in it today, so if you can get one person from each side.
Stop trying to put yourself down because I don't want to hear it.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if you get somebody, one person from each side,
what do you take
and a player.
away? What do you take? I don't think the losing team wants to come on and be like, "Hey, let's talk about how we lost." What do you take away from just by watching this game? What do you take away from the 2003 Tennessee and 2003 Clemson team?
Bobby Bowden did a better job of reading. Tommy Bowden, excuse me. Tommy Bowden did a better job of game prep and understanding what Tennessee was going to do, and was more prepared for them in the second half than Tennessee was for them.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I think Tennessee came in cocky, thought they were going to beat an unranked ACC team. Honestly, any SEC team would have probably done the same thing because, I don't think anybody thought that Clemson was going to win this game.
I agree with that.
And, that's pretty much it. It was good to win for Clemson. Let me tell you something. The reason why I like doing Clemson games, you may disagree with it. Alabama fans always disagree with that. You got to understand is the fan base kind of hits you. And I look at the fan base. Clemson fans have always been classy. Now, they may not be classy in South Carolina. You got to read between the lines when I say classy. Now, when you're playing each other one-on-one championship-wise, it becomes a dogfight.
Yeah.
Okay? In every fan base, you have your assholes.
Yes.
I'm one of those assholes. I love Harvey Updike. Okay? I piss on those fucking trees. With that said, Auburn fans deserve a little bit of misery because they talk too much trash. They don't know nothing about football. And all they do is just, or cry, go hug a freaking tree. That's my feeling on Auburn football fans. By the way, we have an Auburn pretty soon we're gonna have an Auburn watch along too. So
I'll give you that.
now Clemson fans never did anything that I felt that's ever been unclassy. Now Clemson Charm of the CTS, formerly of the CTS, has spit it on the choo-choo train in South Carolina. Okay, but I mean, who hasn't spitted on that train? I know a lot of people spitted on a train. I've never seen the train. I didn't even know South Carolina had a train. I'll probably see it and spit on it. That's just the way it is. So you have some classy fans, but majority of Clemson fans are very classy and they're very nice. They're humbled by the fact that they know that after what was the last national championship they had, 1981, and then they come in like 2016, they win a national championship. And, they're happy with it. They didn't go and talk trash everywhere. They're like, they were happy they beat the unranked, a very highly talented Alabama team, but they didn't go, like the Georgia fans are doing right now, which disappoints me. Because, after 42 years of winning a national championship, you figure you'd be humble and happy. You're not even humble or happy. Y'all are complaining more now than y'all did when y'all wasn't winning. And I was like, Georgia fans were always cool. I was always cool. I wanted Georgia to win the national championship. I didn't want them to win against Alabama. But when they did, I was kind of like, hell, you know what? Give it to them. And that's the way I was with Clemson. I don't want you to beat my team, but when you win a national championship, I was happy for y'all. Like, great. Now you get to feel what I've been feeling. I only thought I was going to feel this one other time. In 92 and 2009. That's the only time I ever thought I was going to ever feel it. And then I got to feel it 6 times. Clemson only got to feel it 2 times. Now, and they probably going to feel it again. Georgia may feel it again in another 20, 30 years. So I'm happy with teams who haven't won a national championship in a very long time, or teams that never won a championship get to win a championship. But you have to have class. Auburn fans do not have class. And that's the reason why I don't like Auburn fans. Tennessee fans kind of get on my freaking nerves. That's just my take. Spencer, closing words.
Well, when you come up with the comment majority, I will have to give you that one. Majority of the Clemson fans. I'll give you that one. But when you do me personally, when you walk into a Clemson convenience store and be asked to leave because you're wearing Alabama, I'm sorry. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth about Clemson fans. Sorry. It's a business. It does. Left a bad taste in my mouth. But you said majority. That was only one convenience store. So all the other convenience stores may have a different point of view. So I'll give you that one. But I tell you right now, one time, anytime I go over there, I'm going to treat them all the same because they treated me that way, and I'm going to treat them back the same way. That's my closing statement.
What convenience store was this?
Pardon me?
What convenience store?
I ain't going to mention the name. I ain't mentioning the name, brother. No. Downtown Clemson. Downtown Clemson.
No, if that business treats you that way, that business needs to be put on blast.
I'm just saying it is what it is.
Okay, well, I can't unless you tell me the name of the store. I can't believe that store.
I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna badmouth the whole business for.
I badmouth the whole city of Auburn just because of a couple.
Well, that's you. I have good Auburn friends. Not all of them are assholes.
I have friends. I don't have good Auburn friends. I have fans that are fans of Auburn. I wouldn't say they're good friends.
I've got a diehard Auburn fan that I consider a brother. So, yeah, I do have.
I got a diehard Auburn fan who will admit that Auburn sucks. But anyway, closing words, Spencer.
Thank everyone for being here. Seriously, I do appreciate it. This is new to me. First time I've done this, which is actually great because it gives me an idea of what we're going to do on Tuesday nights for the Four Horsemen when we go live through the Texas ATM game. this coming year. So this has actually been a great experience. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Joey. I want to thank Tommy Bowden. He was awesome. I wish I had more time with him because I think he's a great guest. He don't hold nothing back, and a lot of prayers for you, sir. But thank everyone.
And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee fans, Clemson fans, I hope you enjoyed it. Blast from the past. And remember, win or lose, Auburn fans, the only thing you know about class is what you learned in elementary school. Later.